Hello and welcome to the Kevin Creative Show, and this is going to be episode 2 of the Kreative Kast with your host, Kevin Creative. So, I'm back. It's been a month, and we're having a good time. I've got the first month of videos out, and I couldn't be happier. Well, I could be. I mean, if they each had like 1 billion views, and I had like 1 billion subscribers, then I guess I would be happier. But all said, I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with how things are going. I've been getting some decent views, likes, comments, subscribes, all that stuff. So I'm having a good time. It's fun. I'm getting a lot of good feedback, and I'm really enjoying it. So it's a good time. I'm glad that I'm finally able to chime back in, because the thing is, with pretty much everything is done. Well, everything is done. So the first year's worth of videos are all done and ready to go. So now I'm working on year 2. I'm getting all the stuff ready to come out for the next year. And the reason being is I wasn't sure what to expect going in with the workload in terms of having to make all the thumbnails, do all the recordings, the filmings, writing the scripts if there's a script that's needed, editing everything, promoting everything. So I'm doing everything. The only thing that I didn't do was my buddy Andre Birdbaths. He's the one that does the music. The custom music, that's him. I put his links in the videos if you're interested. He makes some cool stuff, and he's only going to keep getting better at it, just like me. Check him out. And anyways, yeah, so I'm doing everything, so I figured I should probably give myself some good breathing room to work. So I decided, at first I was going to do 4 months, and then 4 months I figured, all right, I'm already this far in, I might as well do 8 months. By the time I had already had almost 8 months worth of work, same thing. All right, we're already at a year's worth, so I said screw it, and I just made the entire year's worth of work done and ready to go. So now I have plenty of time to work on year 2, and hopefully other projects as well that I can bring in. That's where I'm at. I'm just working on stuff, trying to keep the boat going. And the thing about that is, though, is because I did make all this stuff already, there's just I just don't have any current updates. Like this, so this video is coming out on Wednesday, but I'm recording it on Saturday. So that way it's pretty current. That way my thoughts and everything are up to date. If I talk about anything, like for example, this week was the Shizuoka Hobby Show 2024. So there's a couple of things I might want to pull up and talk about. I'll be honest, I wasn't all that hyped for it. I'm just gonna say that right now. There was some cool stuff that came out. I don't know if I'm gonna get any of it. I think I'm just at the point where I kind of have what I need. I don't really need too much more. There's a couple things still on the docket. But yeah, whenever they do announcements, unless it's something that I really have been looking forward to, yeah, I don't know. I guess what part of it is I'm not the biggest Seed fan. Don't get me wrong, it's a fun series and the designs are awesome. I love the designs. But I don't know, I kind of have everything I need from that. I've got I think it's the Strike Freedom 2.0. I think they did the 2.0 of that. And then they have the other one, the gold one. I always mix them up. There's like the Freedom and the Strike Freedom. Is that what it is? Is the Freedom the non-gold one, and then the Strike Freedom has the gold inner frame? Whatever those two are. I have those. I've got the Strike Gundam with the P-Bandai add-on for the Perfect Strike accessories. I've got the Dual Shroud. I've got the Blitz. I've got the Providence. I've got the Aegis. I think that's what it's called, the Aegis, the one that has that secondary like squid mode. Justice, Infinite Justice. What else? Is there anything else? Oh, the Astray, the red frame Astray. I thought that was pretty cool. Finally, I got that. I've been wanting that since like 2012 or something, and I just got that in 2023, I want to say. Happy that I finally got that one. I got that one and the Sengoku Astray. Part of the reason that I thought about not getting the Astray was A, because I already had a ton of kits, and B, I had the Sengoku Astray. I finally managed to get my hands on that as well, and I thought, do I need both? And I decided yes, I do need both. So there you go. I also have the Testament Gundam in my backlog, the P-Bandai one. That's a cool design and all that, but I like the regular Astray and the Sengoku Astray better. So what I'm thinking is I might do the I just lost it. Testament. I might do the Testament first as just kind of a trial in terms of what I want to do with the colors and how the colors are going to come out with my ideas, because I really want to do a good job on that red inner frame. Like that's the whole point of them. So I want to make sure I get that right. And I'm going to be honest, out of the 3 of them, the Testament is just my least favorite, not for any particular reason. It's just a personal choice. I just like the Sengoku and the standard Astray more. So the Testament will be my test. And there you go. Testament test. The test of the Testament. I think that'll be a good choice. I'm thinking about doing the Testament in pure metals. I'm thinking I'm not doing any opaques. I'm thinking of switching out the yellows for gold, maybe brass, the grays for, silver or gunmetal or something, and then the entire body for like a metallic red and all that. I think that could look crazy sharp, so I'm thinking about doing that. But anyways, before we get into all that nerd shit, yeah, today's Mother's Day, so I went over to visit my family, went to hang out with my parents and my sister, and yeah, it was a good time. Had a real nice day. Went over, we had some breakfast. I baked a cake beforehand. I've been getting into baking these past year or two, and I'm enjoying it. I enjoy cooking, baking, and all that type of stuff, so I know my mom likes cake. I love cake, especially chocolate. We're both into that. So I figured, all right, I'll make her a nice homemade cake. That'll be a nice little gift. Got her a card, and then went over. So it was a good time. We all hung out. There's some yard stuff my mom wanted to do. She's sprucing up the garden, so we took care of that. Hung up some of these metal flower things that she got. She snatched them up from the 99-cent store. Because, yeah, that place is gone. You know, she had to step on in and snatch them up before everything was gone. And, yeah, looks nice. So we spruced things up and, yeah, just hung out for a bit. Had the cake. Had a nice little brunch. I decided I wanted to re-record this podcast. This is actually the third time I'm doing it. I don't know. I can't do things in the first take. I think that's what I'm realizing is that I'm a very much a prep work kind of guy. I need to do a lot of preparation to do anything, I'm kind of realizing. At least to do it to an extent that I like. If I want something to be good and all that, I can't just think about how to do it and then do it. I need to physically do it and then repeatedly get the motions down. I have to physically get the motions down of what I want to say and how I want to say it. Because the last two I did of this podcast, the first one wasn't that great. I will say the first one I don't think was that great. The second one I was much happier with, but after re-listening to it, I didn't get through the whole thing, but that's part of it. I was just kind of like, if I'm not even getting through this whole thing right now, then maybe I should try it again. So I decided I'm going to redo it. I'm feeling it now. I think yesterday I was just feeling a bit tired. It was a very busy week for me. I had a lot to get done. My car battery died, so I needed to get that taken care of. And then Mother's Day was coming up and I needed to get specific ingredients to make the cake, so that was on my mind. There was just a lot of things that were on my mind where I needed to get them done in a certain order, right? And the problem is the important stuff that really needed to get done, that was actually at the back of the line because of just the nature of how things were. There was just other things that I needed to take care of sooner that weren't as important, but just because of how things were lining up, I had to get them out of the way. And the problem is I can't think of anything else until I get that stuff done. It was just like a mental block on me this whole week of like, okay, I've got about 3 or 4 things that have to get done at a certain time. And that's just how it is. We just got to deal with life and get things out of the way. So I'm glad that I finally got all those things done. And I felt like redoing the podcast because I just feel fresher. I feel like a weight has been lifted and now I can think a little bit better and do this in a much more enjoyable manner for you guys. I think we'll be all the better for it because, like I said, the last podcast, it was okay, but I don't know. I'm feeling a bit more energetic and entertaining today. I just feel like my words are coming out a bit more articulated. So I'm thinking about planning a little trip to Legoland with a buddy of mine. I'm not going to say who it is just in case he ends up watching this. I haven't been to Legoland since I must have been like 8 or 9. I remember loving it as a kid. Honestly, I thought it was a really good time when I went. I don't really remember much about it, but just the bits that I do remember, I don't know. It's a good time. It's a good memory, and I kind of want to relive that. I basically just want to be immersed in a Lego world. Is that too much to ask? I want to go to a diner and just everything's made out of Lego. I want to go to a Times Square and, it's just Lego everywhere. Is that too much to ask? I think we can make this happen. So I'm going to start planning now so I can put some money aside. Because I want to treat them. I don't want to just invite them. I think I want to surprise them. I'm thinking about just being like, hey, what's a Saturday? Let's pick out a Saturday or a Friday that you're free in the summertime. Make sure you're available. I'm going to get something prepared for us. And there you go. I think it's going to be a good time. I'm just in the mood for that. That's just how it goes sometimes. Sometimes, that's just the kind of guy I am. I just see my friends and I just think, let's put a smile on that face. And, I'm a better person for it. Let's be honest. I was even considering getting a hotel just to spend the night, just to make it an extra fun day for us. But I was looking at the hotels and I was just, I don't know. They're not very impressive. Let's be honest. They're no Disney castle. All right. It is Legoland. All right. Not Disneyland. They look fun, but not that much fun. We can go for the day. We'll have a good time and then it'll be a nice little road trip back. So what's funny though is when I mentioned to my coworkers that I wanted to take this trip to Legoland, they mentioned that like, oh, if you don't have any kids, they won't let you in. And I'm like, what are you talking about? That doesn't sound right. And he's like, yeah, like me and my wife tried going and we didn't have kids, so we couldn't get in. Like you got to have kids. It's for kids. And I was just like, no. Like there's just, nope, I'm not, no. It's not adding up. I'm not having this. Nope. I refused to believe that this was true. So I Googled it and people were asking. Like I just couldn't get a definitive answer. I was like, no. I'm not, no, this is not happening. I refuse this. I'm refusing this information. There's no way that Legoland doesn't let in just regular old adults who just want to go have fun. It cannot be. So I ended up calling him up and I said, bring me the lady who tells me the information that I need about Legoland. Put her on the phone immediately. I just said, hey, I want to go to Legoland and purchase tickets. Can I go if I don't have children? I've been hearing that you need kids to go. And she's like, no, you can come. You can go to Legoland. And I was like, oh, okay, that's weird. Yeah, I was just reading up that people were saying that if you don't, unless you got kids, they won't let you in. And she's like, no. There's like a specific part of Legoland called Legoland Discovery. That part's for kids only, and if their parents to go with them. But if you don't have kids, they won't let you into Legoland Discovery. So thank goodness. I was about to be very sad if I couldn't get into Legoland like forever. Like it's just like, all right, I guess I am just banned from Legoland all of a sudden. It was funny because my coworker was saying, well, are you going to boycott Legoland now? And I'm like, well, I guess so. If they won't let me in, I guess I have no choice but to boycott them. They're physically forcing me to boycott them. But thank goodness that's not the case. We can go in. We can have some fun. Maybe we'll do some Lego stuff there. I don't necessarily know if I even want to buy Legos. I just like them. I don't need to actually have them. I just enjoy them aesthetically, like looking at them. That being said, I did get a couple of Bionicles on eBay. I caught the bug. My coworker brought up the word Bionicle a few months ago. He just happened to mention it. And I was just like, oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. And then like a month ago, I saw a video and same thing. A guy just in passing, he just happened to mention Bionicle. And then it was like a flood of information just in my brain. I was like that lady in Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull when the alien skull was just feeding her information and her eyes are just glowing and her face is just melting. Like that was me. I was just like, I see everything. Like it was just coming to me all of a sudden because it was crazy. Like I loved Bionicle as a kid, but I completely like phased it out of my brain. Not even phased it out. It just got buried. I don't know what happened. Like it was just, that information was just gone. And then I looked up some of the designs on eBay, like what the old toys and all that. And I kind of get it because the first few waves I think are really cool. The original Toamata wave and then the Toa Nuva after them, their upgraded forms. I think those are awesome. Same thing with the Bohrok and the Rockshi. I think those are also really cool designs, but everything after that I kind of drop off because they just get really flat and gangly and stringy. And like the Toa Metru, they are cool in concept, but the actual toys themselves, the Legos, they're very gangly and it looks like they're missing pieces. It just looks like a very flat skeletal structure missing the armor components that are supposed to go with it. That's how I felt. I think I remember as a kid I got like one of them and then that was it. I was like, they're not working for me. I'm not feeling these designs. So I kind of just, from there on out, just let it be. But kind of getting back into it. I've been seeing like people's customs, their mocks. I've been learning the terminology. Look at me brushing up. I'm talking to like a cool guy now. I'm going to make my own custom mock like I know what I'm doing, brother. But we'll see how it goes. I just got the two red guys, the original red guy in his upgraded form. I'm just going to straight paint them. I'm going to take them apart and then just paint them, give them a custom paint job. I mean, they're still going to be the same colors, but it's going to be all from the ground up. I'm going to prime everything and give them a really clean paint job, bring out the details and all that. I've never seen anybody do that with a Lego. I don't know if Legos have ever been painted before. I don't know if Lego people are really into that. Based on what I'm seeing, that's not the case. It seems like the big thing with Lego in terms of a hobby is the fun of it is building a collection of the parts in their proper color. So for example, maybe there's a build that you're trying to customize and work on, but the part that you need is blue, but you don't have that part in blue. So now you got to go hunt down and find that part. You can go on Bricklink, the website that's kind of like an eBay where it's buying and trading and selling Lego parts, which is really cool, used parts and even new. Or you can go in person. They've got conventions and stores where you can just go sifting through until you finally find that diamond in the rough, that one part that you finally can get in the right color. So I think that's the fun of it. I think that's what these people are after. I can appreciate that for sure. It's just unfortunately where I'm at in life and all that, I don't really have the space or time or money to begin a new collection of stuff. I'm just going to kind of omit that kind of thought process. And for me, I'm big into painting and all that, so I'm going to paint my stuff. If I can't find the stuff that I need in the right colors, who cares? Because I'm going to paint it anyway. So that's going to be a nice little leg up in my favor is I don't have to worry about hunting down specific colors of the parts. If I find it in black, perfect. I'll take it and then I can paint it up. Right now I've been going on YouTube and looking at people's videos to get ideas. I think what I'm going to do just to start things off and make things simple is I'm just going to straight up copy other people's designs just to get in the right mindset because when I've been into it for a couple weeks now watching tons of videos, so I have a much better idea of how to go about it. But I'm just not good at like engineering in any form or capacity. I can appreciate it for sure. I can appreciate when I get a good model kit and the pieces are designed a certain way, the function in a certain way and all that. But in terms of doing it myself, I just don't have that mental capacity to be able to figure out what parts would be most effective where. I'm starting to kind of get the idea, but I think I'm just going to copy other people's stuff just to get a feel for it. And then from there, maybe I'll try customizing along the way. So like, for example, you can just go on YouTube and people will make videos about how to make arms, like specifically about the arms. Like if you want to make, here's different arms ideas. I've been finding videos like that, and I'm basically just picking and choosing. Like I like this arm from this guy's video, and I like this leg from this guy's video, and I like this chest from that guy's video. So I'm kind of just picking and choosing, and I'm going to eventually get the parts to make just a solid body and give it a mask and paint it up. And I think that'll be cool. I'm just trying to get ideas for now. Another thing I'd like to do is, like I said, I don't think Lego people are really into painting their Legos. It's all about getting the right colors and seeing what you can do from there. What I want to do is after I paint them and everything, I'm going to do my usual thing, make pictures and work in progress and stuff like that, put it on my Instagram and just to show it off. And then I want to make videos about them, like how I'm doing my model kit critiques. I just posted my first one last week for the God Gundam, the HG version. I want to do the same thing with these guys. I'm going to make some videos on them because why not? That's just perfectly good content to work with. So I'm going to do that. And then I want to send pictures out. So there's a couple of YouTube channels I found that are really into Legos and then Bionicles and stuff like that. So I'm going to do all this, make the videos, take the pictures, and then I want to send the pictures to these people. So I just kind of want to reach out to them and be like, hey, I liked your videos. I was inspired by everything you got going on. Here's some pictures of my work. If you want to feature them in your videos, I'd love it. I think that'd be cool. And there you go. Because I've noticed that there's a couple channels that are like that where they take requests. Like you can send in your pictures for your custom stuff and it could be featured in a video. So I figure why not? I'll give it a shot. It's different. I think this is very different. Like I said, I don't think I've been trying to Google pictures. I've been Googling pictures just to get ideas, and I've yet to see a painted Bionicle or painted Lego of anything. So I think that'll be cool. And then eventually I'll send them out. I have some ideas in terms of sending them out to people. Just promotion. I'm trying to promote my work and all that, the channel and everything. You know, I'm very new. I don't have anything going on. So I'm just trying to come up with ideas. Like, for example, there's a Transformers model kit, the Furai Acid Storm. I'm planning on buying that in about a month or two. I need to get supplies and all that for other stuff. So get all the supplies, get the model kit, and there you go. I'm going to custom paint that into a Skywarp and send that out. There's a YouTuber out there who's a fan of Transformers who loves Skywarp. If you know who I'm talking about, then you're in the know. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the conversation. Yeah, I want to do that. Send it out. Just a little promotion work, you know? I need to, if I want to take this serious and gain a following, then I need to start networking. So I'm just trying to work with ideas that I think could get me somewhere. Because you can't just reach out to people and be like, hey, let's work together. You have to have something to offer. You got to bring something to the table first. That's one thing that is very important when it comes to just business in general. Like if you're going to go to somebody because they have something you need, well, then you need to figure out what they need from you first, or they're not going to listen. So, you know, it's a waste of time to go to them and be like, hey, check out my work. Isn't that cool? Like, no, like I need to have ideas that specifically cater to them and send it over to them to see and, you know, all that stuff. So just kind of working with that type of mentality. And hopefully we'll get somewhere. I'm hoping to see some good things from it. The only thing that sucks is it's going to take a while because I've just got so much going on, like with every aspect of the channel and life and all that in general. Right now, these two Bionicle figures I have, they're not at all complicated. That's the nice thing about them. They're very basic. They're just, you know, Lego action figures from 2001. I think they're 45 pieces. Maybe the upgraded one might have a couple extra pieces, but there's not a lot of pieces. There's not a lot of colors. They're literally just red, orange, black, and silver. What is that? 4 colors right there. So nothing too complicated to work with. There's going to be some masking because like I said, I want to step it up and bring out some of the details. There's like pistons and gears I see and stuff like that I think would be cool to make them silver and gold and all that gunmetal in there. So yeah, I want to go to town on this thing. And like I said, I don't think this should take too long, so I think I could squeeze them in between stuff. Right now I'm working on an SD model kit that I'm almost done with. Thank goodness. I'm actually in the middle of removing the masking tape finally. The one thing about SDs, you would think that they'd be really simple and quick just because of the parts count. Like there's not a lot of parts to them, so you figure, all right, this will be quick. because I don't have to do, 50 million parts to paint. But the problem is, at least with this one, this specific one, there was so much masking. This was the SD, I believe, Cao, C-A-O, Cao, the wing version, the wing Gundam. I really like the design. I think it's cool. In terms of the SDs, I'm not a big fan of them, but I like these like Shogun warriors and like European medieval knight warriors and stuff like that. I even have like the Commando Gundam or Command Gundam. I like the unique ones that aren't in the standard Gundam aesthetic. So that's what I can appreciate from these SD figures. The only thing is, like for this one specifically, so much masking was required, and it came out pretty good. Not perfect. I didn't do a perfect job. This is like I said, it's an SD. There's a lot of tiny little recessed parts and all that. So I figured I already had expected that even with all the work going in, it wasn't going to be perfect. But it came out pretty good. I mean, I'm pretty happy with it overall. I'm still working on it. I'm hoping that once I use some panel liner on this thing, that'll help kind of cover up some of the bleeding from the paint, from the masking. Because that's really the issue, is that there's just there's so much masking on this thing, there's just a lot of potential for it to bleed. And so I'm hoping that using the panel liner will help kind of hide the bleeding, and we'll see wherever we go from there. But overall, not too bad. I'm just kind of in the middle of masking everything. I'm about halfway done. But yeah, for example, a few of these pieces, like this shoulder piece that I'm looking at right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors. There are 5 different colors on this one single piece. Think about all the masking that is required to get all 5 of these colors onto this one piece. It took a while, but we're finally here. It's still not done. I still need to do some work on the sword and the scabbard, but the main body is pretty much done. So I'm working on that, and I'm glad to be finally almost done, because I still have the Master Grade Zeta 2.0 ready to go. So that thing it's already broken down into parts. It's sanded and everything. I just need to paint it. And the nice thing about Master Grades is there's typically not any masking required for the most part. Master grades are, they're a higher level of quality and all that, so usually the parts are already separated into the right colors. There is going to be some minor masking required on this Master Grade Zeta, I will say. I do know that there's a couple of yellow thrusters that need to be masked off, but that's okay. That's not a big deal. That'll be a quickie. And I was looking at my Master Grade unicorn that I did, I think last year, and that one took less than a month. From when I looked on Instagram, from the first post about it, when I did my first just here's the inner frame, I got started on the painting and all that, to here's the final product, I finished painting it, here's everything put together, less than a month. I think the first post was like September 23rd, or no, I think the first post was September 27th, and then the last post was like October 23rd. So like less than a month, I was able to get the painting done on that kit. Not just the painting, but the painting and the, what do you call it? Water slide decals, because I did those as well. So I'm thinking that the Zeta should be in that same category. Everything is, like I said, already prepped. It just needs to be painted and water slides, and then panel lining, and then that's it. So I'm hoping a month, 2 at the most, because we gotta move. Like I gotta get stuff done, because like I said, I've got the first year of stuff done. So that's 12 model kit videos we can expect. Once a month, there's gonna be a model kit video. That's all done, edited, thumbnailed, and everything. Great to go. The issue is I was getting ready to do the thumbnails for the next batch of videos for year 2, and I was counting out the next model kits that I have ready, and I've only got 8. And if we include this SD that I'm working on, that'll be 9. So we'll have 9 model kits ready to go for critiquing and all that. And that's bad. I need 3 more. I don't even have, I have less than 2 years. After my first year, I can't even make it through a second year of model kit videos. Now, let's keep in mind, I still have an entire year to, get 3 more. No, I have 2 years to get 3 more model kits out, because I still have these 8, we'll call it 9. With this one, we'll call it 9, ready to go. So that's a year and 9 months of videos that I can put out still. We have time. It's not like I'm not going to get 3 done in that amount of time, but it does take me a while to get stuff going on certain kits, so I kind of want to, get things going. Like I said, Master Grade Zeta 2.0, that one's coming up next. And part of the reason I want to do that one is I have 2 of them in my backlog, and they had the Verkaw come out last year, I believe. Yeah, I figured, all right, if the Verkaw is coming out, let's knock out one of these. I have 2 of them, let's knock them out. That being said, I have no intentions of getting the actual Verkaw. I 100% understand the logic behind making it and why they put it out and everything. The Zeta 2.0 is about 15 years old. It's due for an update. I mean, who can complain about an update? The only problem is, at least for me personally, I think the Zeta 2.0 is as good as it needs to be. I'm sure this one's better. I've heard it's better. Don't get me wrong. I just didn't feel a need for it to be better. Like, anything could be better. You can take anything and upgrade it, but you just kind of need to see it doesn't need to be upgraded. This was kind of one of those things where if it's not broke, don't fix it. But at the same time, I get it. This was 15 years old. It's the Zeta. That's a cool design. It's an iconic design. Why not? If I didn't have 2 and master grades in my backlog, I would have gotten it. So let's be honest. I would have thought that was cool and I would have gotten it. But, it doesn't come with its beam bazooka. What is it? Hyper beam launcher. It doesn't come with the hyper beam launcher, and it's more expensive. So it's just hard. That's a hard pill to swallow when we've got something that's perfectly good to me. I think it's perfectly good. And then we have this upgraded thing that I didn't feel the need to have to begin with. And it comes with less stuff and it's more expensive. You see where I'm going with there with that? So that's one thing to consider. That being said, like I said, I have 2. So I could potentially build one up, because the reason I have 2 is because I don't like to transform my model kits. I don't think model kits make for good transformers. That's just a good way to damage the paint job, so I'm just not into that. So that's why if there's a design that I like that has 2 forms, and I like both forms, because there's plenty of stuff that has 2 forms that I don't really care about the second one. But if I like both, screw it, I'll get 2 and make both. So the Zeta, I really like that Wave Rider mode. That looks pretty sick. That's probably one of the best transformations in Gundam. It looks pretty cohesive. If the Zeta was in one solid color, just gray or something, you could really see that being a jet. Don't get me wrong, you can obviously tell it's a robot, but it would pull off a jet pretty well, I think. Whereas a lot of other Gundam stuff, that's not the case. They kind of just look like a robot flipped around with wings coming out. And I get it. These are Gundams. They're not Transformers. The fact that they can turn into jets and stuff, that's not the point. The point is that they're robots. So it's a secondary thought to have them transform. But sometimes they do it really, really right. And I think the Zeta was one of them. So I figured, all right, I want to get a painted build of that in the Wave Rider form as much as I love the robot form. So I got both. I was so tempted to get another double Zeta. Oh my goodness. You have no idea. You have no clue. Back when I was getting the double Zeta, the Verka, I really had to stop myself from getting 2, because that's another one where like the mobile suit mode kicks ass. That thing looks so awesome. And then the mobile armor mode, same thing. It has like 2 or 3 different forms and modes and combinations. They all look so cool. And I was just like, I really want to get that in both forms. But the price is kind of expensive. It's a very big kit. Do I really want to spend the time making this kit twice when I can just move on to something else? Especially when I have the Phaz also. I have the standard double Zeta and I have the Phaz version. So I'm already doing it twice. I had to pass on getting 2 of them. I'm sorry to say, but it'll be cool. It'll still be a good time. What I'm thinking is maybe I can do some pictures of it in the mobile armor mode. And then just once I decide to put it into the mobile suit mode, never switch it out again. I don't know. We'll see. Do some pictures on one hand and then transform. But we'll see. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of just a couple of things I got going on. Very happy with how the channel's going. I'm getting a lot of good progress done for year 2. Like I said, I was very concerned just because I didn't know about the timing of everything, and because I'm just all new to this, I don't know how it all really works, and I'm just kind of figuring things out. So I want to give myself some breathing room. And after being where I am now and doing all the work I did before the channel started, I'm happy to say that we are well ahead of where we need to be. So I'm just going to keep it going. I'm not taking a break. I know I could just take things a little bit lighter now, but let's just keep it going. Don't just strike when the iron's hot. Strike when the iron is piping hot. You just got to keep it going. I've already got 2 more thumbnails done for the model kit videos. I'm working on a 3rd. I'm doing the outline now. If I can get this one done by the end of the day tomorrow, that means I will have 3 thumbnails done within a week. And that, I think, is really good. 3 thumbnails done, and then plus I've got a ton of videos already started on the editing. What else? The model kits I've also been working on. I've been busting my ass on this SD. Once I came to the realization that I needed to get more model kits ready just for year 2 of critiques, I have been hauling ass on this kit, and I'm very happy. I wasn't even supposed to have the masking done for today. I was supposed to have it painted, and that's about it, but like I've gotten so far done with the masking, I'm even ahead with this. So I'm very happy about that. And I'm hoping when I move on to the Zeta, the next one, since I'm going to be on the painting stage for that one, what I'm going to do is I have a Command Wolf, a Zoids Command Wolf. It's already already in pieces. The nubs have already been cut off. It just needs to be sanded now. We're on the sanding step. So once I finish with this SD, I'm going to move on to the painting for the MG. And then when I'm painting that one, in between, I'm going to be doing the sanding for the Zoid. So I got a lot going on in terms of model kits. There's a lot of projects I want to knock out. And then there's also, like I said, thumbnails, editing, recording, tons of other stuff. So I'm a busy man. What can I say? I'm a very busy man. And I'm enjoying all of it. Having a good time. I'm so glad that I get to do it. I'm really hoping that I can grow this channel and make it a full-time thing. I can only imagine what I could get done if I was doing this full-time. I mean, I don't want to do anything else. Like, I take time off specifically just to do this. I stay home all day on the weekends just to do this, and it feels nothing but accomplishing. Like, every weekend, by the end of Sunday, when I come to work on Monday, when I go to my job, my day job, and I'm just telling my coworkers, oh, how's your weekend? And I just tell them, like, well, I did this. I list off all the things I get done, and I just feel so good about it. So I just want to keep that going. Right now, the channel is a format of once per week, just to make sure we don't catch up. But that being said, I'm hoping that I can, within the next 2 or 3 months, have all of year 2. Okay, that's a tall order. I'm hoping within the next 4 to 5 months, I can have 90% of, or we'll say 80% of year 2 done, in terms of just 100% completed with the videos ready to go. Because what I want to do is once I have the year 2 stuff ready to go, that's when I can start working on the in-between. What I mean by that is there's lots of ideas and videos and stuff that I want to work on because I have a schedule. I have an upload schedule just to keep things simple and regimented and I don't get lost in everything. But what I wouldn't mind doing is if I can catch up and get year 2 pretty much done, I can then work on side projects that I can add in between the videos. I don't know if I would do a twice a week release schedule for that. I might just switch it up and release something else instead on that week. Just because, again, I'm alone in this. I'm doing everything by myself. I don't want to fall behind. I don't want to catch up with everything. I want to just keep the train going as best as I can with what I have. And then eventually, if I can get the channel on its feet, get it self-sustaining, do this full time, that alone would alleviate some of the pressure to where I could potentially do a twice a week thing. I figure, so this is what I'm thinking. If I'm successful enough to do this full time, then I figure that would mean I have enough of an audience to where I could probably do some streaming, do some live streaming. And then that's another gate that we can open to where, like, maybe instead of uploading 2 videos a week or something or doing a different video, we can still keep to the same schedule where I release a video on Wednesday and then maybe on Saturday or something, or any day, because like I said, it would be a full-time thing. So I could stream what I'm working on in between and you can get a behind the scenes look. You know, this is how right now, like, let's just hang out while I'm sanding. You know, I'm going to be working on some sanding. I'll live stream it so you can guys just hang out and see what I'm working on and we can just talk shop, ideas and all that stuff. I'll be killing 2 birds with 1 stone. I'll be putting out content and I'll be working on a model kit to do more content. So these are just kind of the ideas I'm toying with and thinking about and how I can get my channel as effectively moving as possible. And then from there, I can hire people. I would love to hire a channel artist and an editor. Eventually, you know, like I said, we got to make some growth. I can't just be paying people for nothing. Like, you know, I got to make sure that there's some revenue coming in to justify it. But I think that I could see that happening. And it's, like I said, these are all just ideas I'm toying with and thinking about. I'm watching a lot of other people's videos to get ideas and inspiration and figure things out. So, you know, and then I want to just talk about it here. That's the whole point of the podcast, is for me to just kind of openly think and breathe and get my thoughts out and hear people's opinions on them from their end and get their ideas and, you know, have a good time of it, collaborate and see what we could do. You never know. Maybe there's somebody out there that they see my channel and they think, wouldn't it be great if you did this? And I would have never thought of that. So thank you for telling me that. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. Also, I'm just looking for, you know, fun. I like just coming on here and having a good time and just whatever I'm specifically in the mood to do and talk about. Well, guess what? That's what we're all in the mood to do and talk about. That's what the whole point of this is. So I like that. I like that aspect where, you know, all eyes on me. What else? We still got time to talk about more stuff. What else can we talk about while we chill? Oh, real quick also, so in terms of the model kits, let's talk about them a bit more. First year, I decided I kind of want to keep it standard in terms of the model kits that I'm going to be critiquing and working on. So what I mean by that is they're mostly just going to be Gundams. And they're mostly going to be, I think, HD Gundams at that. I think we have, let's see, I'm trying to think of what master grades and real grades. I have 1, 2 real grades. I have 1, 2, 3 master grades, and then I think the rest are high grades, I think. And then I have a Dragon Ball Z figure. So yeah, I'm trying to keep it mostly simple, basic Gundams in the beginning, and then I'm going to end it with a Dragon Ball Z figure just to really change it up. But then year 2, get ready for year 2 with the model kit stuff, because I've got a lot of diversity coming along the way here, just because I think it'll be fun. Like I said, I wanted to start things off slow and just do kind of standard, regular old Gundam stuff, just so, I figure I do things like how Bandai does stuff, They're not putting out outlandish, random model kits. They're putting out the winners. They're putting out the Strike Freedoms. They're putting out the RX-78s. They're putting out the Unicorns. They do that a lot. So it's kind of the mindset that I have, sort of, is let's just stick to the basics for now, and then we can start putting out more obscure stuff later. Like I said, I want to do these Bionicle, not model kits, but Legos. I want to paint them up for videos and all that. So that's a very different thing right there. I've got a Mega Man model kit already painted, built up. That's going to be one of them. I've got the Master Grade Master Gundam, which is very different in terms of its aesthetic towards Gundam. Same thing with the GP Rays 210. That was a good one. And not in terms of the build, but in terms of like my paint job, I don't know, man. That was a good one for me. I had a very good time with that. It's a very random Gundam and design in the entire franchise as a whole, but just because of the fact that I had a really good experience with painting it and everything and building it, it's just, I don't know, I've got a good connection to it, so I'm excited to do that one, actually. That's another one that I didn't think would exist. I think that's another factor, is I remember when Build Divers Re-Rise was being announced. No, it was either being announced or being released. I think this was when, like, right before it went on hiatus, because of COVID and everything, Build Divers was coming out. And then I was thinking to myself, it's too bad we never got a GP Raise. I would have loved to get that in like a Master Grade. Obviously, I never would have expected it to come out in Master Grade, but it would have been cool to see it in any format at this point. So I was just kind of thinking to myself, man, wouldn't it have been cool if they did that? But oh well, I guess we're not going to get that because, the show's been over for a while. And then out of nowhere, for the Build Divers Re-Rise, they decided to... sorry, I just got an email I just want to take a look at. A game went on sale that I might get. We'll hold off. Anyway, sorry. Oh yeah, but then they ended up randomly announcing it for the Build Divers Re-Rise line, and I said, screw it. I was literally like a month or two before this was announced thinking about how cool it would have been if they made it, so I'm getting it. And not only did I get it, I did it pretty quickly. There's a lot of kits in my backlog that have just been sitting there for a couple years now, just because there's lots of reasons why I don't build a kit right away. It's usually because I'm not comfortable with the skill level that I'm at yet. I want to do this kit right, and I just know that I'm not ready to do that one, so that's why I usually hold off. But this one, I was like, you know what? I'm doing it. I like this design. I'm in the mood. I'm feeling the Build Divers. So let's bust this one out. And I think I did a really good job. So I'm excited to eventually show that one off. Like I said, it's got a little special place in my heart just for the circumstances of its release and everything. Plus, like I said, the build itself, I'm really happy with how things came out and with the choices that I made. So it was a good stepping stone. Let's backtrack to Bionicle real quick, just because I came across this game on Steam called Bionicle: The Mask of Power. The reason it's really cool is because it's an independent game developer team that's working on it. And what I mean by that is they are not affiliated by LEGO at all. They have nothing to do with the company. They're just fans of the Bionicle franchise, and they came together, I guess, to make a really cool Bionicle game. It has nothing to do with the LEGO company. They're not getting paid for this at all. They are not charging money for this at all. They're just doing it and putting out there because they are just hardcore fans. And they're probably some of the biggest Bionicle fans out there, because for free they are making, because like when they said they were doing it for free, I was just like, okay, so this is probably going to be some little rinky-dink, 1 or 2 level 10-minute game that they're just trying to do for fun to work on other projects in the future. I figured this is probably just something to add to their portfolio. They like Bionicle. They want to make games. So they're probably going to make something pretty simple just to show off. No, this is like a full-fledged entire game that is, you can tell, been fully thought out and like just really well constructed. I'm going to put up a video of the trailer. I'm going to take out the sound just so it's not distracting, but I'll put up some visuals from the video. That way you can just see how amazing it looks. I cannot believe the work that is going into a Bionicle game in 2024. They've been working on it for, I believe, about 5 years now. It's been a while because, they're an independent team that's just volunteering to do this. So it's going to be a while. And I'm excited. Hopefully it doesn't get taken down. That's what I'm concerned about is, because they don't own any of the rights or anything. What I'm hoping is Lego just doesn't care because what is it affecting? They don't make Bionicle anymore. They don't produce it. The brand is kind of dead to Lego in terms of their thoughts on, putting out products towards it. They're not doing anything Bionicle related. They have no intentions of doing anything Bionicle related. It's just kind of, they did it. It was fun for a time and we're moving on. So I'm hoping that they just kind of see this as marketing and advertisement. Like, this is basically free advertisement. Some guys went out of their way for free to make a game to advertise a product for Lego. I'm hoping that's what they see and they just kind of leave it alone because it looks good. Like, I just don't know what to tell you. For a free game, it looks amazing because you can tell, like I said, these guys are fans. They know the lore. It's not even just about how it looks. It's not even about how it plays. I barely know the lore. Like, I have a very surface level knowledge of Bionicle. I know the basic history of the franchise and everything, but like, it's not like I did a book report when I was, I don't know, 8, 9, like I did a book report, sure, but the media, which is not very available in a lot of ways, the fact that I know what I know and I still can tell that they're getting the story really right and they're following the story really well, that I think is a big deal. Like, I'm a casual guy, but even I can see that they've got it down. So very excited for that in terms of just the story alone, because it's one thing to have a good game. That's, again, I was just thinking like, okay, this will just be a fun game to play because it's it's Bionicle. You get to run around and play as a Bionicle. But the fact that, again, that they just, the details and the fact that they want this to be a good Bionicle game. They don't just want this to be a good Bionicle game in the sense that it plays well and it looks good. They want it to be a good game and that you're going to want more. You're going to follow the story and it's going to line up with the lore and you're going to do the same things that they did in the books and in the comics and in the web series. I'm excited. You're going to be in the world of Matanui. And that's really what it is that you're going to experience what they experience. That's the goal for any game, is you want the player to feel like they have experienced the world that they're in. At least I think. That's what I look for in a game. That's really part of the process, is what I'm thinking of what games I want to play and all that. Sometimes it's not even about the game itself. Sometimes it's just about the atmosphere. Like, sometimes I just want to be in a certain world. Like, right now I've been playing the Lego Star Wars games just because I've been in a huge Lego kick. And that's it. Are the games amazing? They're pretty fun. I mean, they're fun, but like, they're not the most thought-provoking and, intense and depth games, but there's a lot to love. There's a ton to love. I just feel like I'm immersed in this Lego Star Wars world, and that's what I wanted, so I'm happy. Same thing with everything else. Like, for the Assassin's Creed games, I don't even really look at it as what type of game I want to play. It's more of like, what type of life do I want to experience? Am I in the mood to be in France during, I think it was the French Revolution that the Unity took place? I could be wrong. Do I want to be in ancient Egypt running around exploring the tombs and all that? That'd be pretty fun. Like, do I want to be in Europe playing as a Viking, running around as Viking? Like, it doesn't matter. It's not so much about the game and all that. It's the experience. Like, which world do I want to be in? I'm not going to sit here and act like it's a vacation or anything. I don't want to go and sound like a freaking psycho just saying like, yeah, when I play Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I'm basically in ancient Greece. Why would I want to actually go to Greece when I've got it right here on my Assassin's Creed Odyssey? It's not replacing anything, but I don't know. It's a fun time and it's a good experience. What else? I've still got a little bit of time left on the clock, just because I know I'm going to edit out some stuff. So I'll try to make these about an hour. I think an hour is 45 minutes to an hour is a good podcast time, I think. Just because, like, the whole point is for me to just talk about what I got going on and my thoughts and ideas and start a conversation with you guys. And it's no fun to have a conversation for like 10, 15 minutes and then just end it. That's why I want to make these things closer to an hour, because I want it to feel like we're just hanging out. Hopefully that's the case. I'm hoping that my pacing isn't too fast and erratic. I have a habit of doing that. I mean, it feels like we've been going at a good pace. I hope I'm not just spurting off and you can't get a word in edgewise. But yeah, so that's why I kind of like to keep things kind of long. One of my buddies would give me shit. He's like, Jesus Christ, this is a fucking movie you're putting out? But it's like, we're chilling, bro. We're just hanging out. Let's kick it. Like, don't you want to hang out with your old buddy Kev for an hour? That's all I'm asking. It's the opposite for the other videos. Like, when it comes to the model kit stuff and the video game stuff and the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, there's no way I would make that past the 20 minutes. Like, some of them are like 23 minutes, 25 minutes, maybe 26 minutes, depending on what they are for the Let's Plays. But I'm trying to keep those down to like 20 minutes and below, especially the model kit ones. Those ones I want to keep to like 10 to 15 minutes, because We don't need an hour of that stuff. When I see people putting up 4 to 5 hours of unedited footage, I don't even know what to think. Like, I'm not even going to click on it. Sorry, but like, I'm not. Unless it's a podcast. If it's like a 2 or 3 hour podcast, screw it. I like just having that out in the background. Just as something to work with. So if it's the longer, the better for that. But everything else, it's like, I'm not going to sit through 3 hours of you just playing a video game, with your mild reactions from time to time, because that's the thing is when you work on these videos, especially for the video game ones, there's a lot to cut out. Like I did a Mega Man video I was editing the other day, and the raw footage was about 2 hours. I would say like maybe a little under 2 hours. The actual usable footage, to be fair, could have been more. But I brought it down to 13 minutes, which is a huge difference from like almost 2 hours to 13 minutes. And the reason is there was like a good hour, probably more, of just me getting lost and going in a circle. Do we want to see that? Do you guys want to see me getting furious and running around in a circle for an hour? I'm sure that some people do. I'm sure some people, they get their kicks out of it. I like it. Sometimes I like watching some of my favorite YouTubers just spouting off, getting pissed off. It's fun to watch them getting worked up. And I agree that some of the stuff I left in, hey, I'm human. I'm going to say some stuff. I'm going to feel a certain type of way, and I try to make it as entertaining as possible. But an hour's worth of it, I don't know, man. We can't just sit here for an hour and listen to me get mad. We can do it for like 5 to 10 minutes, but after that, it gets stale. Like, I remember I was dating this girl once, and she just happened to mention that, like, I got a bit of a temper sometimes, but she's like, ooh, I like it when you get angry. I think it's kind of sexy. And you like it now, sure. This was a long time ago. This was like early 20s, I think. So it's like, you like this now, but don't you think it's going to get old? I get it. It's exciting, when for girls when their man gets tough and angry and doesn't take shit from nobody. I get it. But at the same time, it's like, it's good for the 5 minutes that you're in that moment, but it gets old. As somebody with a lot of anger issues and all that, it gets old. I don't like it. If I definitely don't like it, I know other people don't like it, so I'm trying to keep that in mind and keep it to a minimum, I think this will be a good way to kind of let it out. I try to use humor as a way to express my anger just because nobody likes a scary, angry, like, man. It's one thing when a girl gets angry. I'm not going to sit here and act like it's not funny. I see some girls popping off, and I don't know, when you're like 5'4" and there's not really much you can physically do to the other person, it's just kind of funny to watch them get angry. I'm sorry. Sorry, ladies, but your temper tantrums, they give me a few chuckles from time to time. But when it's a guy, it can be funny. I will admit, like, it can be funny to watch a guy get pissed off and angry, but it's more so just kind of cringy. I don't know. Like, when I think about myself getting angry and all that, it's not a fun time. It's just kind of cringy and just like, oof. Like, who wants to be around that guy? Just trying to keep things at a manageable level. How do we get onto this? How do we get on to talking about me being an angry asshole? Where did this come from? Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about you being an angry asshole. What are your faults? Write them in the comments. Please put your faults in the comments so that way I can use them against you later. I would greatly appreciate that. One thing I've noticed is, so this is the third time I'm recording this podcast. I don't even remember if I mentioned that. I think I mentioned that at the beginning of the video, but if I didn't, this is the third time I'm recording this podcast in 2 days. I did it twice yesterday, and I decided I'm going to do it one more time today because the first time sucked. It just sucked. It was awful. Did not like it. The second time wasn't too bad. I was definitely liking it a bit more, but I'm definitely feeling a lot better now just because I don't think I can do things in the first take. I mean, who can really, but I really can't. I've never been one for live theater in terms of my own performance. Well, I don't really like watching it either. But especially in terms of my own performance, I'm not a big fan of live theater. I need room to fail, I learned through failure. That's one thing about myself is I just had to accept. It took me a very long time to accept, but I have to learn by fucking up. I'm just not going to get things right the first time. I'm not going to get them right the second time. I'm not going to get them right the third time, fourth time, fifth time, millionth time. I'm going to fuck up over and over again. And the best way for me to learn is just to dissect it. We're just going to fuck up and dissect it because that's just how I learn. I can't learn how to do something and then do it right. It's just not going to happen. That's why I'm very casual in the way I live, because I just know myself. I'm going to break something. I'm going to scratch something. I'm going to dent something. That's going to happen. So let's just get a beat up used version of it already. So that way when it inevitably does happen, it's not a big deal. And then from there, once I'm feeling more comfortable, we can get a nice, shiny, brand new thing to play with. That's just kind of how I work. I just kind of learned that I can't do things right the first time, and that's okay. We're just going to get it right the 10 millionth time. That's why with my model kits, I'm very picky and choosy with which ones I'm going to work on at which time, because I know, like I said, I'm going to mess up. I'm going to fuck up. With this SD, with all the masking I did, I'm taking off the tape and there's fuck ups. There's way more fuck ups than I'd like. They're not huge, so they're not intrusive, but they are there. They're very small, minor ones, but they're there. So that's why I did this kit, was because I wanted to do an SD. I had never done an SD. This was the one that I didn't mind if I had made mistakes. So I figured, all right, this will be my test. I've never done an SD before, so I want to get a feel for what's required of them. And I figured this one requires way more than anything else. I want to tell you right now, part of the reason I did this SD Cow Wing Gundam was I knew going in, this was probably going to be the busiest SD that I own. It's going to require the most amount of work. That being said, even though it requires the most amount of work, I don't want to say, it's not like it's my least favorite or anything. It's not that I dislike it or anything. I really do like this design and all that. But all the other ones that I have, I'm more interested in. The Night Gundams, that's why I got the SDs, is because I like the Night Gundams. Specifically them and the Musha, the God Maru. I'm a big fan of the God Maru. I'm a big fan of G Gundam in general, and the fact that that's based on it and everything, it looks so good. And what really got me was Build Fighters. They used it in Build Fighters Try, and you got me. That sucked me in. I had to get it, so I found it for like $12, snatched it up. But I wanted to make sure I do a good job on it. So I'm doing this one first. I knew this one was going to be way more complex, but like I said, if mistakes were made, it's okay, because in terms of the design and everything, it's the one that I'm not as interested in. It was a big test, but okay to fail. Whereas the rest of them are much smaller tests. I can tell you right now, the Night Gundams and the God Maru and the Command Gundam, they're not going to require nearly as much masking and work than this one did. I figured if I get this difficult one out of the way now, then the rest of them should be a breeze. And I'm hoping that's the case, because this one did come out pretty good. Like I said, it's not horrible. I know I'm crapping on it and all that, but it's not the worst thing in the world. It's just, there was just some bleeding from the masking. You know how it goes. This is a very small, it's an SD. There's a lot of small parts. So getting everything to line up perfectly and stay there over an extended period, because, you know, sometimes the masking tape starts flaking off and all that stuff when you're just letting it sit for a while. And so little issues here and there, but like I said, not the biggest deal. When you have it on the shelf, I'm not going to see, I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at all the parts just displayed out on my table from about a foot or two away. You can't see any of the mistakes. It all just looks amazing. But I know, like, I'm picking it up, I bring it up to my face, and oh, look at that. There they are. So it's just one of those things. Overall, mostly happy. But anyways, guys, I've been kind of rambling on for a while now. We've hit the hour plus mark, so I'm hoping to edit this down to 50 minutes to an hour. I think we can do that. I'm currently looking at an hour and 3 minutes and about 30 seconds. So, you know, we trim that about 15 minutes. There's about 15 minutes worth of footage in here that I definitely know I could probably trim out. So there you go. So anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you stopping by. If you have any questions for me or anything, go ahead and comment or whatever. I'd love to hear from you and hear your thoughts. If you're interested in any of my projects or anything, you can also check out my Instagram, where I post work in progress and stuff like that. That's where I like to keep up with it. I guess that's all there is today, guys. So until next time on Getting Creative. Peace.